Good. Hey, good evening, everyone. How many of you, I can't see your hands if you raise your hands. That's okay. I do want you to raise your hands, where you are. How many of you suffer from procrastination? How many of you suffer from the paralysis of analysis? I'm raising my hand because I am one of them. Sometimes you get caught up and you start down this road, this process, and you feel like, hey, I'm making some progress, I can do it, and then something just gets in your way and you don't finish. You don't get things done, right? So tonight, we are going to talk about how to get things done. Actually, the art of getting things done with our special guest, TaJuanna Taylor. But one second, got a little message for you. Good evening. I'm Steve Worthy. I am host of Retail Leadership with Steve Worthy, the live stream podcast, and also the audio podcast. And I'm CEO of Worthy Retail U. Our focus is on helping retail leaders understand their culture within the organization, how to communicate better, but more importantly, how to advance their career. Because one thing we truly believe this, is that every retail leader's decision impacts everybody every day all around the world. So we have an amazing show for you tonight. She's an old friend. She's a partner in crime with helping me and helping us kind of grow our businesses and our concepts. And you need to strap in, right? You need to sit down and put your seatbelt in and get your notepad out if you're old school like me, because I still have my notepad out, because sometimes when I'm talking to her, I get inspired and I have to write stuff down, because she talks fast too. I'll talk fast. I'm gonna have to slow her down tonight, and I talk fast, so we're gonna have to be going back and forth. But I'm excited to have TaJuanna Taylor on. We'll talk about her in a second. Just a couple upcoming events that we have going on. So of course tonight we're gonna be talking with TaJuanna Taylor, the art of getting things done. I'm excited about that. This was just confirmed today. My buddy, my pal from Canada, Miss Cher Jones, who is a brand strategist and fellow hip hop, like old school hip hop, like aficionado. Like, we have had conversations, and I'm excited to talk to her about brand, your personal brand. But we're going to talk about a couple other things. But I'm excited to talk to her next week, and it's going to be September 1st, and that's going to be at 7 p.m. If you've ever been on LinkedIn and you want to know about brand strategy and your personal brand, please look up Cher Jones. Look up her platform. She is absolutely amazing. So I feel very privileged to talk to her next week. And then, of course, my man, listen to me. I am floored every time I get an opportunity to connect with JP High Tech. But I'm even more floored that I get to be on his platform again with some of these guys. I'm telling you, Charles Jackson and James Hicks, and we're going to be talking about winner and failure mentality, the winner and failure mindset, actually. And that is actually going to be September 8th, and that is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Central Time. Listen to me. When I tell you that this is going to be one of those events that you don't want to miss, the dialogue that we are going to have in and of itself is going to be outstanding. These guys are super smart. But here's the other part. They're extremely humble. They understand how to lead, but they understand how to lead with humility. So I'm excited to talk to these guys next week, and we're gonna have an amazing time. Not next week, actually September 8th. And then Monique Russell, and she's going to be on September 13th. That's actually going to be on a Monday. So I typically go on Wednesdays. This is just for you, Monique. If you're listening to this is just for you. I only changed for you. And it's going to be on Monday, September 13th. And that is Monique Russell. She is CEO of Clear Communications. And we are going to understand some of the keys to clear communication, because there's some different variables. And we're going to talk about all of those as well. And this is I'm excited about all of this stuff. I'm really excited about all of this stuff, but I'm pretty stoked about this one, is that we are going to be starting our own LinkedIn Live Lunch and Learns within our community coming soon. It's going to be starting in September. We haven't sure up to date yet, but I've been able to get on LinkedIn Live. We're actually streaming live to LinkedIn right now as well. But I'm excited about that because we're really going to have a laser focus on retail leaders on that one. We're going to do interviews, but I'm also going to do a lot of like kind of webinar situations where we're actually talking about different leadership roles and attributes and what you should be looking for and what you should be looking for in yourself and that you can teach yourself as well. So be on the lookout for that. More to come with that one. Our community takeover. So please understand this. We have a lot of different things going on with Worthy Retail U, but our community takeover is probably one of the biggest pieces that I truly enjoy, because we actually have a lot of people who actually come on and they talk a little bit about some of the things that they're struggling with. And we as a community kind of help solve their problems. So that's what the community is about. It's not about us trying to figure everything out on our own, but it's also about us coming together and helping someone else understand and help them down their road, help them down their path so that they can understand a little bit more about themselves so that they can say no to more and they can focus in on what's important for them. So we have a couple of themes that are going to be taking place. And one of our themes coming up over the next few weeks is going to be Know Your Worth. And we are going to be really delving in from the community takeover standpoint around know your worth as a person, as a leader, and then also as a creator. One of the things that's been hard for me to really get my head wrapped around is that I am a content creator. I have fought that idea and that perspective for so long and just thought I was a business guy. But, I am a content creator and I'm going to move in more into content creation. And so that is a massive part of our business. And so for me, I want us to kind of understand all three attributes: the person, the leader, and also the creator. And we have a massive content creator community out there as well. But here's the thing, and I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. So, know your worth is definitely tied to this little thing I got going on right here, and it is Worthy Retail U. And I'm not gonna show it all to you, but I'll give you a little sneak peek. Okay, that's it. That's all we got. That's all I'm giving you. That's all I'm giving to you. I'm not giving you any more. I'm going to come back here because we are going to be talking a little bit more about some launches that we have going on from a resource standpoint, also from our apparel and things like that. A lot of people have asked us for it, and so it's coming, and so we're super excited about that as well. So I'm going to move past that. And then previous guests, we had my buddy Perry Rue. We talked about power of executive coaching. All of these that I'm talking about, you can go and see on either, they're all on my Facebook platform, YouTube, and also in LinkedIn as well. My friend Michael Jackson, we talked last week about a plan and how to focus in on create your plan for resilience. And then my buddy from across the pond, Mr. Paul Norford, we all learned how to fail, right? And fail was first attempt in learning. So please, if there's one episode you want to go check out, make sure you check out that one with Mr. Paul as well. And then Anita, last week, we had some lessons learned from intern to professional. So really, honestly, I've been very blessed. To have some amazing people on the show and upcoming on the show. And then my buddy Robert Reed, from the podcast Never Call Me Again. Robert and I we're looking at doing another collaboration pretty soon. So please be on the lookout for that as well. We're going to do some testing for it, and then hopefully we can get something rolled out to the community at large. All right. As I said before, we are actually going on all three platforms tonight. So we're going to be on Facebook, LinkedIn, and also YouTube. And everything that you see here tonight, all all the overlays, all the switching back and forth that you'll see here tonight is all by Ecamm. It's a Ecamm Live. It's a live streaming software. It's outstanding. If you want to know more about it, we'll make sure we put a link and everything for that as well too. All right, so here we go. Without further ado, she is the CEO of Bootstrap Dreams. She is a master at getting things done, helping people get things done, helping you cut through the clutter of your mind, of your business, of your concept, so that you can actually go into it and actually get some fulfillment out of it. So she is a friend of Worthy Retail U, and I'm super excited to introduce you guys to Miss TaJuanna Taylor. How are you doing?
Hello. Hey, hey, hey. So glad to be here sharing space with you, Steve. It's
Oh
always a
man,
vibe. It's
um,
always a whole vibe.
yeah, man, yeah. We've already been talking a little bit about what we're gonna chat a little bit about.
hmm
But if you can, tell a little bit everybody about Bootstrap Dreams and how that came about and exactly what you do.
Ooh, long story short. No,
Not me.
truly. That's all right. Bootstrap Dreams is really about helping the service based entrepreneur. And I've got a special heart for women entrepreneurs show up with confidence, make profitable decisions, and launch their extraordinary ideas with strategy through project management. And it is rooted in turning former sufferings to service, it is rooted in the gift of administration. It is rooted in being proactive and not reactive. It's about sustainability. It's about really, really launching that extraordinary idea and knowing that, no pun intended, but you're worthy. You're worthy to do it, right? And it's not about making an altar for yourself through entrepreneurship. That's a whole nother podcast, right?
Yes.
But it is about serving others through what it is that you know without a doubt you have been called to do. And by the way, for our LinkedIners, those skills are highly transferable, folks. So, yes, whatever you've been doing for years for somebody else, you can absolutely do to serve you and others
Oh,
in your own way.
excellent, excellent. Well, we have a few people here tonight. Let's make sure we get everybody. Oops, get
That's
everybody sorted. I can do
right.
this live. I'm gonna do this
All
live
right.
since we here.
Say
And get
hey to
this
the
thing
people.
sorted. There it is. All right. There we go. We got Mr. Spoke Audio. That's actually Robert Reed. Thank you, Robert.
Hi,
I
Robert.
overanalyze sometimes. Okay, this is perfect for you tonight.
Mhm,
This is gonna be perfect for you
mhm.
tonight, man. Nice animation up front. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Oh, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. JV High Tech. Hello, brother.
Baby.
Happy to catch this show. I also got my notepad out. Good, good, good thing, good thing.
Oh yeah.
Alicia Way. Tawana, if you got to follow somebody too tonight,
Okay.
that's going to be here. Make sure you follow Alicia Way. Amazing content creator.
Noted.
Alicia, I caught some of your podcasts today. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but you started
Mhm.
talking about stackable skills.
Ooh.
Yeah, like your skill. Like he was going and talking about like all these skills that we create over time that
Mhm.
we don't realize that we have, and they just continue to build and build upon each other, and irrespective of where we actually got those skills from, they
Yeah.
they are transferable. So I just caught about that. I just caught on that when you said transferable, and I saw Alicia. Just
Mhm.
wanted to make sure I brought those two together. But great
Yep.
podcast, buddy. Great podcast.
I love that.
And then the art of getting things done. Let's go. All
Let's
right.
go.
All right. You have to get back to class. Thanks, sir. Have a great show.
Absolutely.
And then Miss Alicia, big
Priorities.
things popping. All right, Miss. Thank you, Mr. Alicia. I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for chiming in
Yeah.
here. All right. So, you know, one of the things that we always talk about, and I think it's constructive to kind of lay the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about, is that we both have this passion. I think your passion for it is a little stronger than mine, but I still have a passion for it because I dipped into this business discipline, which is really what it is, which is project management for a period of time, and I fell in love with it. Now, I consider you a project management guru. If
Ooh.
anybody,
Oh no.
you know, listen to me. I've heard you speak. I've heard you speak several times, and when you start talking about project management and how that fits within the business framework, and
Mhm.
also from a leadership standpoint too,
Yeah.
like all of those things for me just can just continue to resonate because, we have, as you can see, we have people here from not just in the retail industry, but from different
Right.
industries. But
Mhm.
I feel like everything that we whenever we talk about project management, and kind of translate. Walk everybody through a little bit what the essence of project management is, and how does that kind of work as a leader and also as a business owner.
So I like to throw out a disclaimer, right? Because project management can be industry specific.
True.
One thing about me and project management, it is human centric. It is about mobilizing people. It is about having a defined start and a defined end. Like if you had to simplify project management to mean anything else, when people say, "Oh, I'm working on a project," my first question is, "Oh, great. And approximately when is it going to end?"
Mm.
Because that opens up the door to the real root of what they're working on or not. It's not an operation, right? Projects are not ongoing. They start and they finish because at some point you have to go to market in whatever form market means to you. And the best way to mobilize a project is to integrate it, not just with money, not just with resources as in material things, but in people. Who do you need and what do you need to succeed? What can they do to get things going and empowering them, giving them the autonomy to do so? So I do get passionate about project management in the sense of people. Absolutely. I love it from a leadership standpoint. I mean, 10 years in state government, I can't help myself.
That's all right though. I mean, because it is right. I mean, I think I always think about it in this context too. When you think about organizations, everybody talks about organizations.
Yep.
But in my idea, organizations are nothing but made up of people.
People.
And within that, we figure out how to lead those people to
Mhm.
get certain things done within a given amount of time as well too. So what are some of the things that you have helped some of your clients kind of overcome? You don't have to talk about the industries or anything like that. Just some broader things. I'm just trying to set the context until before we get into the done formula, because I know everybody's waiting for that.
Certainly. So I mean, the variation of things sometimes still blow my mind, right? Because oftentimes in business, it's like, what is the niche? And it's like, well, with project
Mhm.
management, we can stick that to whatever you want.
Very true. Very
You
true.
name it, right? The processes are what they are. And so from launching something and I'm going to say, I say simple loosely because I know this can be robust, but as simple as helping a retired airline professional launch a blog, right?
Mm.
Turning her years of expertise as an airline professional, tie it into ministry and just share the gospel. I have
Mhm.
helped people launch real estate investment companies using project management, leveraging that as an opportunity to have a dragnet of
Mm.
things. So they go from, okay, first I want to do housing. Okay, now I want to do trucking. Okay, now I want to right now I want to launch an ebook about how to do it. Okay, now I want to consult on how to do it. And it didn't require them to learn anything new per se. It took the skills that they already had and then
Mm.
figured out now how can I profit and help serve others while I do it, because oftentimes we think service and profit are isolated, and I do not think so. And so then we have hairstylists, right? COVID was a big awakening for a lot of in-person service providers. And when you get shut down and you don't have anything else going on but what you did with your hands or your feet,
Mm.
now you had to think about how else am I going to provide for my family? So launching hair product lines sustainably has been something that we've been working on. I mean, it's been podcasts,
Mm.
it's been a number of different things that people are doing. And one of the most fruitful things that have come out of this season has been the hiring of international virtual assistants, right? Helping entrepreneurs hire international virtual assistants. And it has been so fulfilling to help people see, I don't care how small you think your business is, what little you think you're doing is literally changing a life on another side of the world. It's literally helping them show up and add
Mm.
value and provide their great skills and feel that they have been, they have worth in what they have pursued, the sweat, blood, and tears that they cried. We in America, we know all about that. through
Yeah.
our education system, right? And it has just really been about helping people grow, helping people scale, helping people realize they don't have to do it all themselves. Do it yourself does not mean do it alone.
Mm,
And that's
mm.
that.
Hold on for a second. I gotta write that one down. I told you I got. Okay, this is live. I don't care. It does not mean.
Yeah. I mean, do it yourself does not mean do it alone.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you told me
So,
that one before too, man. And I know I wrote it down,
oh,
and I forgot. But um, I actually want to talk about that, and then I want to talk about the skills people already possess too, because I wrote that down. But
hmm
I do want to go off on not a tangent, but a positive little
hmm
um, I guess I don't know. I have used TaJuanna's service to have an amazing virtual assistant. And
hmm
initially I thought, oh man, I can do all this stuff myself. I can do, my newsletter. I can do some of my marketing. I can do some of my posts. I can do some of my Canva, all the design work, all this stuff. I felt like I can do all, and I was doing it all. And I was
right?
doing it all poorly. I was doing it all very poorly, and it was horrible. And I now I did one of the things that I did do was create like tons and tons of content um,
Yeah.
in Canva and different things, and then using your service and Anna, who's my virtual assistant, has been amazing. She
Yeah.
has set the
She's
tone.
amazing.
She has organized me. She has
Mhm.
provided structure,
Yeah.
accountability, which I need,
Yeah.
right? Hey,
Yep.
Steve, when is this done? Hey, Steve, you haven't recorded that yet. Hey, when is that? I'm like, dude,
Yep.
like, all these things you think that you are able to do yourself, or you should be kind of
Yeah.
wired to do as an entrepreneur. And I talk
Mhm.
to people all the time about all this stuff, but then when it comes to yourself, sometimes it's hard. It's hard to kind of
Yeah.
do it. I said all this to say is, and this is not. I'm using the service, and the service has boded extremely well for me, and I have been able to reap a lot of the benefits. And but here's the other thing: I know that I'm helping someone else on the other side of the world in a couple of ways, financially, but also in a in a spiritual and mental like completion. Like
Yeah.
Anna's been developing and growing her skill sets while she's been helping me, so it's kind of
Yeah.
twofold, and it's just been a massive benefit. And so anybody
It's
out there, doesn't matter the
universal.
size of your business, you can, if you need somebody to help you, please let me know, and I will after the show, and I will make sure I direct you put you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful that you shared that, and because it we just shortchange ourselves in life often,
yeah,
right? Because we believe the hype. Oh, I got to be doing this, and I got to be in this place, and I got to be making this much, and I've got to be. You just got to be doing what it is that you know you're supposed to do,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you got to be willing to not do everything yourself. Let go.
yes. Yeah, I mean, the funny part, right? Because we all have these sayings about ourselves and our business and this
Mhm.
and that, and I say this all the time. Like the more you know yourself, the more you can say no. And then
Yep.
here I am. I'm telling everybody this. I'm coaching people. I'm telling them all this stuff, and then I'm like, well, I know myself. Myself hates to do Canva, this and
Mm,
that. But then I said, well, it's mine. I got to do it. And I'm not even taking my own advice. And so until, you and I connected, and I was like, okay, all right. I think this is 100% down my alley. So you said something earlier. I'm going to get
mhm.
to the statement here, but you talked about already possessing people having skill sets that they already possess, and they may not have identified those skill sets. How are people able to kind of take what they already know and apply it? Let's just talk about it from a leadership standpoint, if you will.
Yep.
Um, Taking from all these different experiences in life, and how do they just kind of push back the layers to figure out what it is that they need to apply?
Well, I think one thing we do have to do is slow down. Slow down enough to see what is it that I'm doing? What is it that I do that comes easily to me, right? these common questions that we can answer. What is it that people come to me for without solicitation? People call me about what? People text me and ask me my opinion about what? Or they know they can count on me to show up and do and deliver what? Right? Your employer, they always appoint you to do what? There's a common thread in those things. And you can then use that as data, right? Because we believe in making data driven
That's right.
decisions,
That's right.
facts over feelings.
Mm, mm,
And you can use that data to then make an informed decision about how to move forward and try something. Just try a thing. It's not concrete, right? You can change, you can shift, you can go a couple of rounds, do 10, get feedback from 10 and see if it's working, see
mm,
what isn't, and then make the pivot and then go forward again. If you don't like it, you haven't gotten too far in,
mm,
right? But it
mm.
also doesn't mean that you failed. It means you found a way that you don't want to do it. Don't waste time. Keep
Yeah.
moving.
Here,
And just,
yeah.
yeah.
Here's the thing. People, we as leaders though, we don't take.
Mhm.
Like I just said it right. We don't take our own advice, and we don't. You know, a lot of times we think we know it all. I'm just gonna put it out
Mm,
there. We think we know it all. We think we have it all together, and yeah, my boss puts me in this position because so and so's horrible at it. So that's probably the only reason why he puts me there. There could be some measure of imposter syndrome. Well, I don't know why they put me in this position, but I'm always there, or whatever it may be. How do we get out of our own way, right? Because I think a lot of times when I talk to people, and I think you probably do that too when you talk to some of your entrepreneurs that you work with. I think a large part of it is trying to help people get out of their own way.
that's a huge part of it because we are our greatest critics, self,
Yeah.
right? It's not always other people. Some people are like, prove your haters wrong. No, prove you wrong. Prove
That's right. That's right.
prove yourself wrong.
Come on.
And it's that facts over feelings. When that noise, that lizard brain or whatever you want to call it, comes up and is saying about what you can't do and what if this doesn't, what if it does,
Mm,
what if I can, what if it will. Reframe that. Ask yourself the opposite. Play advocate with yourself and then move forward in that. And when you need help, recognize that asking for help does not diminish you. It is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a strength because any leader that has achieved any level of whatever you want to determine as greatness had a cabinet, had a council. He or she did not make all the decisions on his or her own in isolation. They consulted with others to take that feedback, to take that data, and to decide what would be potentially best in this circumstance. So, as leaders, step aside from yourself, move out of your own way by inviting others in.
mm,
It's not just about you.
mm.
You're a conduit, right? Currency has to flow, energy has to flow. And if you're going to be a wall, then you're blocking it.
Yes.
But if you really want to make an impact, remove barriers. That's what we do.
Yes.
Remove barriers and let the progress flow through you.
There's so many things I want to go into with that, and I'm gonna get to some of the comments because I want to get to the done formula here. What's going on, John? Mr. Coffee Talk and Tag. Hello, good people. Hello, good people.
Good, hello,
Um,
hello.
JP already likes this. Do it yourself
Yeah.
does not mean do it alone. Does not
Okay.
mean do it. I actually starred that one because I'm going to try my best to get to the done here in a second, but I do want to talk about that one. I think you talked a little bit about that. And then also John said at some point, delegation is a huge challenge to keep the success train rolling. 100%, John. 100%, John. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, delegation, because we tend to take our thing, whatever our thing is, right? Whether you're employed traditionally or you're self-employed in your own way, and we tend to think no one else can do the thing the way I'm going to do it. And you know what? You're right.
That's right.
Right? We think it could be parenting. No, I'm going to take care of my baby the way I am. You're right. Your dog, your cat, your your home, your clothes, anything that you feel is special to you, you're going to feel like no one can do it like you. And you are right. The point isn't to have it done like you. The point is to have it done with you, because you can
Mm,
only do so much yourselves. And if no one else was needed, we wouldn't have all these other opportunities to be filled. We wouldn't have all these gaps to be filling. So, delegation is something that has to be learned. It has to be something that we're willing to do. And there are trainings, it doesn't always come natural depending on your personality type. Sometimes confidence gets mistaken
mm,
for, narcissism
yes.
or for a good game, right? Good lip game. Sometimes we can go in the interview, have a good lip game, but then you don't know how to be around people, don't know how to communicate
Mm,
with people, don't know how to trust people to do their part, to carry their load. And so delegating is really powerful when done well, when done with a proper motivation. It will actually increase efficiency, increase productivity. I mean, I I'm here for it. There's no way. There's no way we could have won the awards that we've won with some of the project teams that I've worked on. Leadership, implementation, social impact, exemplary service. Like, I couldn't do that on my own.
yeah.
It came through the power of a team. Not perfect, yet people feeling like they had value in what they were doing. They had a say, they had a voice, they had a mission, and that we were all pursuing it for
Mm,
one thing, right? So it's hard. Yep, yep. I think
yeah.
John, if his name John, talked about learning to trust is hard when it's
Yeah.
your baby. It
Yeah.
is. It is. However, it comes through you, right? It's not a possession for you to have and for you to have alone.
Huh.
It's something for you to give to the world.
So you telling me? So
Um,
you're telling me? Hold on for a second. I can't stop over now. Can't gloss over that one. So you're
yeah,
telling me my business isn't mine. You're telling
correct.
me my business, everything that I'm putting my blood, sweat, and tears into,
Mhm.
isn't for me? Is it mine?
Well, it's okay. So, by the nature of the way we have to do formalities, yes, someone has to be responsible, right? So, the business may be registered to you, but the
That's
business is not just for you.
yeah.
Business is not just for you, right? Our lives aren't just for us. Our
Yeah.
troubles aren't just for us. Our gifts aren't just for us. Our smiles aren't just for us. I can't see my smile when
That's
I'm
right.
walking
Mm,
down
come
the
on, man.
street, right? Other people say your smile brought me XYZ. I don't see what they see when I'm smiling.
Yeah.
It's not just for us. It's to come through us. So
Dude.
when we stop being possessive and greedy, then we really start living abundantly. But that's probably another talk.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me. You're killing me with so many that I am trying my hardest not to go down these rabbit holes and get to the done formula. Um, I love that. I'm learning to give more of myself to receive. And I, John and I connected in April. And we did this thing called Lita, which is you go live each and every day in April, and I'm doing it again in August. And I have seen John just possess. You can say you can bring her. She can say hi. She can say hi. She can say hi. It's okay. Tell her we said hello. It's her daughter. But John, you have started already. I think given more and more of yourself and all the videos that I've seen, and so I know
Mhm.
this message is resonating with you as well. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop the rabbit holes.
It's liberating, isn't it?
It is.
It's liberating, right? And we're not saying give of yourself to your
Yeah,
detriment. We're
correct.
not saying wring yourself out, and we're not saying that everything is for the book, the gram, LinkedIn, and some stuff is not for them,
Right, right.
right? But our gifts, our skills, our wisdom through our experiences, those are not to be held and cradled for our own good alone. They
Yeah.
are to help increase perspective with those who get to encounter us and those whom we get to encounter. That's relationships, that's doing life in community. That's what helps build strong teams. That's what helps keep business moving. That's what brings forth reciprocity, customer service, all those things. It's a big cycle of life.
Oh, it is. All right, I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole for a second,
All right.
because when we start to talk, you start talking about, and the reason I asked that question because I agree with you in the context, like,
Yeah.
your business isn't just for you; it's of course to give everybody else, to everybody else. The one thing that, as you well know, I had to rebrand, right? I rebranded,
Yeah.
like, the podcast, the website, and everything,
Mhm.
because I felt that I was serving too many people, and I
Mhm.
felt that my market was, and not the, and here's the thing, people have to understand this too, and I think I understood this as well. It wasn't so much my market, it was
Mhm.
the heart for the people that I had, that I
Mhm.
knew needed my information and needed
Yes.
my knowledge and my content. And it wasn't so much, the market. It was like, man, I have a heart for these people. I have a heart for retail leaders. I have a heart for, because I have been one and I still am one. And
Right.
I have a heart for them and what they've gone through, and how sometimes they don't get the recognition that they need within the
Mhm.
big sphere of leadership. And so
Mhm.
for me, my heart, niching down initially
Mhm.
was hard, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't still serve these people. But when I did that, my heart got fuller, if you will, and I had more clarity about
Mhm.
the people that I needed to lead, or to talk to. And
Mhm.
so everything kind of comes out of an outcropping or outflow of who you are. So your business in and of itself, it is you, yes, but
Mhm.
it's not
Mhm.
for you. It is to give to other people whatever it is that God's blessed you with, in the mindset, leadership, or whatever. John does tech, right? JP
Yeah.
does, production work, right? All these
Yeah.
things. It's all for other people, man. So anyway, I just, whew, all right.
Listen,
Just
it's
caught
good
it there
stuff,
for a
and
sec.
it's like, don't lose, don't get lost in when we say it's not for you. We're
Yeah,
not saying that you're not going to benefit. Why
correct.
in the
Correct.
world,
Correct.
right? Put forth all that effort if you're not going to benefit. We're just saying it's not just about you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It's not just about you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So John, John said, yes, Steve, I have a problem with thinking I'm that I'm worthy. No
Ooh,
pun intended. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's a oof, that's a whole nother podcast.
I know,
Like that.
right? I know. Yeah, you guys keep
Oh,
pushing us down these holes, man. We trying our
we're
best. We're trying our best to get
we're
to the
trying
to
to
get
stay
to.
on track, yet
I
yet
know. And then
it's
John's like,
hard to
yeah, I
omit
saw.
the person.
I know. And then, oh, John said, I saw everything you were doing with your rebranding. I would love to talk to you one day about this. I feel you open yourself um, even more, my friend. I appreciate that, man, because
It's been awesome.
yeah, it's been there has been such a measure of clarity. And here's the other thing too that I realized. I realized that in my learning as a leader,
Mhm.
I didn't just learn from other retail leaders. I actually, 90% of the people that I learned from were outside of the retail industry. And so
Right.
while we will be having people on here who are retail leaders, and then we do the LinkedIn as well, we have retail leaders. I firmly believe that you need a broader perspective on leadership as a retail leader, more so than in almost any other industry, because you are dealing with so many different people who have so many different expectations based on where they are within their life, based on where they are within their economic system, based on the products that they want to purchase. You have to deal with so many different people, and so it's incumbent upon you to learn from so many different people just outside of retail. I got to get people. I'm sorry, I'm preaching. I got to get people to understand that, because we have other people that they do retail leadership stuff, and that's all they talk to is the retail leaders. And like, I get it, and I will be doing that. But man, we are selling ourselves short if we don't do that and broaden our perspectives on everything as well too. All right, go. We got John. What's your problem, man? See, I have a problem with thinking I'm worthy. We're gonna go down that rabbit hole for a second. Go ahead. Go. I know you had something to say to TaJuanna about that one. I'm gonna keep you. I'm sorry, man. I told you to go an hour, but I'm gonna try to keep you, man, for a second if I can.
This is so good, though. I'm grateful, John, that you are expressing this and that you are sharing this, because first and foremost, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone. I made a post on Facebook. So I'm more active on Facebook over the last year than I have been before. And I made a post on Facebook and I said, if you had a magic wand and could make your biggest problem go away, what would it be? I literally, my virtual assistant and I, we tracked the responses, right? Data. We tracked the responses over 20 times. And we're talking about 70 something comments. And that was like Monday. Now we're close to 200 something comments on these threads combined. In the first hour, 20 times people were like, fear, doubt, not thinking I'm enough, failure. I mean, all of these limiting beliefs. And it's not just a cliche statement, but they came from somewhere. They came from somewhere, and they came from somewhere that was a lot longer ago than we often like to accept or believe. We think, because we recognize it now as adults, that, this is something recent that's happening. But the truth is, these negative thoughts and beliefs were implanted a long time ago. And that's why we have to deal with the root of why we feel the way we do and what we believe, so that we know who we are, so that we don't conform to who we are not, so that we can stay on path and focused and committed to who it is that we are in purpose to be serving. When we get out of alignment, that's when we find ourselves in trouble. That's when we see chaos. That's when we see confusion. That's when we make decisions that are that cause our detriment, not intentional, right? The unintended consequence of trying to be someone we were never meant to be, trying to do something that wasn't up our alley, wasting time, losing money, right? And losing people along the way, because often when we feel like we're failing and when we feel like we aren't enough, we isolate ourselves and we cower, and then we become unreachable. And so then we start living these, right? These lives pretending that everything is okay, and work and business, and the two are not isolated. Home and business, they're not isolated. If the professional is soaring but the home life is crashing, professional life will be affected, right? And vice versa. So it's so important for us to pause and acknowledge how we feel and get help when it's beyond ourselves. If you've done affirmations for 2 days and you still feel cloudy, it's time to get past you and seek help. It's time for you to let someone else know where you are and that you need help. And let people help. Let people help. They want to. And one more thing, Steve, if I can say, often your greatest help will come from some of the most strange places.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's not always from people that we know. It's an invitation, not an obligation. So learn how to receive help from people that you don't know.
Right, man. I feel like I, need to take up an offering or something. Right.
This is, these are just the little moments from life lived.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Life lived.
Yeah. That's what this is. You know what? I mean, what we're discussing tonight for me is like the epitome of what I want this platform to kind of delve into, some of the deeper things of leadership and self, because a lot of times we get so focused in on the surface level sayings and ideas of leadership, and we don't do enough self-evaluation, because if we
Don't
don't
do
do the
that.
self-evaluation, we end up making the same mistakes, and we think that if let's change the scenario, let's change the company, let's change the
Mm.
relationship or whatever it is. And you know, I was having a conversation. I was having a conversation with someone, and they were down this road, and they were talking about like changing jobs. I said, here's the thing: everywhere you go,
Here's
there
the
you
thing.
are. I said,
Right?
everywhere you go, there you are. So
Mhm.
you can fool people some of the time, but you can't
Some of
keep it up. You know, you can't keep it up. You're who you are eventually will come out, and it
Mhm.
doesn't matter the scenery that you kind of put yourself into. You have to do the work. If you don't do the work, it doesn't matter. It's just
Mhm.
nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen.
Mhm.
You know, John says I'm a really strong guy, but I've never taken myself, far enough. He was never taking himself far enough. And I think, and I miss. Did I miss this one, John? Oh no.
No, it was there.
And John says this one. He says, I'm meant for bigger things. Just haven't broken
Mhm.
through yet. But the more I find like-minded people, I find hope.
Wonderful.
You know,
That is amazing.
and then we got somebody from LinkedIn
Mhm.
says great insight. Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate you.
thank
Whoever
you.
you are from LinkedIn. I'll get over
Yeah.
there and make sure I thank you once I find out who you are. Um, Also, Facebook user, limiting beliefs are constantly trying to seep its way into our psyche and dim
Mhm.
our light.
Yeah,
Constantly,
it
con,
is. And that's the
constantly.
thing, knowing that it's a process,
Yes.
right? It's not a one-time thing. It is a continuation. And so we have to continuously be seeking, continuously be serving, continuously be dumping, continuously be refilling, because as soon as you get rid of that negative thought, it only creates a crater.
Mm,
So if you don't fill that
feel
crater
it.
with
Yes.
something else,
Yes.
guess what? More negative thoughts are going to fill in.
Yes.
Right? And just understanding the root of them. And like John, I would, and anyone else that's feeling that, like, I know I can do better, or I know I pushed for more, or I know I want more, but I haven't done. Do those 5 whys. Do those 5 whys.
Come on. Come
Why?
on. Come on.
Answer that one, and then why? And answer that one, and then why? Ask yourself why until you run out of answers,
Till it's uncomfortable.
until it's
Woo.
uncomfortable
Woo.
and you said enough is enough. And then, even then,
Yes.
right? You're not tackling it in a day,
Yes.
you're not tackling it all in a week, but you can say, what's that one natural next step?
Mm.
Who among these people, like minded people that I now am finding hope with, who can I go to about that one natural next step and have them help me be accountable for making a shift? Because doing it yourself, you have to do it, but it doesn't mean you have to do it alone,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Mm.
And we are talking, this is more intangible, but it's not any different from how we move in business,
100%.
whatever the format of business may be. We don't have to do it all ourselves. So, yeah.
100% agree. 100% agree. Hey, Laura. Hi, y'all. Tuning in
Hey,
from
Laura.
Indianapolis. Thank y'all. Thank you. And then John says, great words. Thanks,
Thank
Tawana.
you.
Then we have LOL, and the church said,
The
Amen.
church. Well,
Wow, exactly. I don't have. Let me see. I don't have any church music. I got an applause. That we can do or
hey, you can
whatever.
shout to that.
Yeah,
Shout to that.
or after, or we get the. No, that's not church. We can't do that
Well,
one. That's
yeah, that's the concert. That's the
that's a
concert.
concert. That's a concert. That's a concert. Says truth. Everywhere you go, there you are. There you
There
are.
you
I
are.
appreciate
Yep.
that.
What is a common
Oh,
denominator, right?
yeah, that's right. That's it. That's it. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast. Hey, y'all.
That's a whole
Great
nother
job,
podcast.
Steve. Loving the convo. This is John from. Hey, what's going on,
Hey,
John? From
John.
Super MC. Super MC. Hey, John. If you didn't hear me earlier, I have our fellow hip hop head on next week, Mrs. Cher Jones. So make sure you
Hey.
tune in next week for Cher Jones on the show. John, he runs a YouTube channel, and it's called Super MC. And because I am still an old school hip hop head, doesn't matter how old I am. Like that, I grew up. My first concert was Beastie Boys and Public
Oh,
Enemy when I was
hey.
16, I think, or something like that. Maybe I can't remember, but yeah. And so they do a YouTube kind of live stream on Saturdays. And when I found them, like I'll get home from work or something like that, and I'll come in my office and I'm doing some work and I put them on, man, and it's just anyway, it just takes me back. And so anyway,
Look,
John,
yeah,
thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning
yeah,
in. I appreciate that.
so good.
The wise the wise has to
There has
be
to be another
another
show.
show. I know, right? It
It's a
does,
real
man.
thing.
It does. I mean, I listen
It's
to
a
me.
whole methodology.
Oh,
If
but
we
and the
wanted
buddy
to get
system.
formal, it's a whole methodology. Yet we can simplify it and just use it ourselves.
Oh, listen to me,
Wow.
man. I literally. That's why you saw me like almost like I was like, when you said that, I literally just told somebody about the five whys today. I literally just told somebody about the five whys, and because they never heard it before, and they
Yeah.
were struggling. The they were struggling with the result of something, and
Hmm.
I said, it's not about the result. It's the steps that you took to actually get to that result. So stop focusing on the result and focusing on the step and the plans that actually got you to this result, and then figure that out. So then we did the five whys, and he was like, okay, I'm feeling like like it's all my fault. I said, I mean, you're feeling that way because you're taking it
Perspective.
personal, huh?
It's the perspective
It's the
about the
first.
steps too,
Yes,
right?
exactly. And so it was just so anyway, it just resonated with me when you said
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
All right, okay, we
What's
have
happening?
gone, and I know you got your daughter. I
Oh, she's
apologize.
good.
Tell her
You
I
know,
apologize,
this
but
is
we
one of
do
those
have to.
evenings where you have the iPad. She's bathed, she's fed. Look,
We
virtual world.
exactly. We do have to get to the done formula
Yes.
because I that's what I put in the title. So we gotta gotta make
You're like, are they gonna talk about that? I guess they're done.
yeah, I guess we're actually done. So we're done. No, we're not. You have everything that we're talking about. Hopefully everybody's understanding this and getting this. Everything that we're talking about is in context of understanding a little bit more about yourself, understanding
Right.
the purpose and intent behind your that's Doc Rock's word, intent and purpose around your business and around who you are. Because if you don't get those things first, if you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, then it is going to be more difficult for you to get things done. So, having said that, having teed that up, walk us through your done formula and where did it come from, and walk us through each letter because each letter D stands for something. I'm not going to give it away.
Yes.
O stands for something. N and E.
It is. I am the acronym lady, good folks. I am the acronym lady, and we adults tend to keep our information in with those acronyms. So the DONE formula, again, rooted in project management, and it was a simplified way. It was downloaded to me one day as the most simplified way possible. Because here's the thing: in 15 years' experience in small business and state government, functioning as an enterprise project consultant, not every opportunity required us to use all the big fancy project management things.
Mm,
Often it's a matter of meeting people where they are. And again, what do you need and who do you need to succeed? Right. And so when we talk about done, the D is twofold because if you don't have one, you certainly can't get to the second one. The first part of the D is to define. You have to first define. People get overwhelmed because they start with how instead of what.
mm,
What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What is it that you want it to do? What is it that you need, right? What is going to help give you clarity? If you try to figure out how you're going to do it without first clarifying what it is that you're here to do, chaos. Chaos is going to happen. Unmet goals is going to happen. Blame, defeat, fear, low esteem, all that stuff just triggers, right?
Mm.
It's just a trigger. So first you have to define what is important. What is the target? The second part of that D, if you're like, no, Tawana, I'm clear about what it is that I'm here to do, then make a decision. Because it's not the idea that we execute, it's the decisions. How many amazing ideas exist in the world today, last week,
Mm.
30 years ago? How
Mm.
many of people have had amazing ideas and never did anything with them? I have amazing ideas, and it's biased because I'm talking about myself, right? But we each have amazing ideas, but we don't always do anything with them. And so then what happens?
Mm.
Nothing. So it's not the ideas that we execute, it's the decision. As soon as I said, you know what? Getting a virtual assistant was helpful for me. I'm going to share this with someone else and see if they need help. And then that person shared and see if they needed help, right? As soon
Yes.
as I made the decision to just share the good news, what happened?
Mm.
Turned into a full-fledged service. That wasn't my vision. My vision was to get help, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's the D. The O is to own it.
All right, hold on for a second. Hold on. I got
Shocker.
it. Hold on for a second. I got it. Hold up. So we got, I got to pause for a second on that one
Now
too.
pause. All
Yeah,
right.
because we got,
Any questions?
that's,
Put
I don't
them
know,
in
we
the
got
chat.
questions, but we got somebody. You got Jasmine. Hello. She's live. Hashtag live. Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you. If you have any
Jasmine.
comments and if you have any questions or any follow up for the D or any of the other ones, please make sure you go ahead and put it in there because we
Please
will
put them in
make sure that we acknowledge you. So amazing
there.
ideas. Desire the light of day. That's right. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. That's right. They desire. They just. That's right. They just. We can talk about our great ideas all day long.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about our grandiose plans, right? And a lot of times people will tell other people because they want some measure of accountability for for their idea, for that definition of what you're talking about, but they don't actually go ahead and make the actual decision to go ahead and start. That is the hardest part. And we got another comment here from Walter. Yeah, I need time to finish taking notes. in between in between letters. He said, I got yeah, I guess that he needs some times.
Yeah,
It's
no
just
problem.
too many gems.
And
Too too
remember, there's always the replay. You can
there's
pause
all
and
there's always yes. And I do a horrible job of talking to the people in the replay. I apologize, my replay people. I get a lot. We get a decent number of people in the replay as well. But
yeah,
you know,
you matter. Replay people matter.
so is it would you say that the fact that a lot of people they have an idea but they don't
Mhm.
make a decision because they don't have a strong belief in their idea or their definition or things that they want to define? Would you, because I
It's
see that a lot.
multifaceted.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's multifaceted, Steve.
Mm.
Not only is it about a belief in the idea, right? Because again, if we don't feel that we're worthy, if we don't feel like we're good enough or we're capable, or we don't have the right skill set or the degree or the clout, or right, the social proof, who's going to believe me kind of thing, then we won't.
Mm.
However, the other thing is you try to do the whole dream in a day.
Yeah.
The whole dream doesn't have to be done today. The whole goal doesn't have to be done today. The whole initiative doesn't have to be conquered today. What tasks need to be done and when? Prioritization, right? You have the must have, the could have,
Mm.
the should have, the would like to have.
Mm.
Not all of them are essential.
Mm.
Right? What you must have is non negotiable. That means it has to happen.
Mm.
How you get there, there's more than one way. And that's another element of project management that most
Yes.
people are like, how are you a project manager and so flexible? Because there is more than one way. Plans, it's a roadmap, not a
Right.
guarantee.
That's right.
COVID,
Yeah.
right? How many people had a plan? The end of 2019 for 2020,
Yeah.
at the time of this talk, right? We're in 2021. How many people had a plan for their new year for 2020 and then COVID happened?
Mm.
Plan is a roadmap, not a guarantee. If you are passionate enough about that end target, that end goal, you will find another way. You will get off the plane and you will get on a boat. You will get off the boat and you will get on foot. You will get off your feet and you will get on your knees, but you are going to get there by any moral means necessary.
Mm.
We can still do great business. Look at this virtual world we've been working in. Remote work wasn't new. The capacity in which we're working remotely collectively, right, is new. How many businesses thrived through COVID? How
Mm.
many people launched businesses they never thought they never could imagine? How many people have you met across the world you never would have encountered had it not been for both a burdensome yet blessed experience? There's more than one way to make things happen. So it's not just about a belief, yet it's about trying to take on too much and trying to do too much. And oh, yeah, by the way, trying to do it all on your own.
Yeah. People are
Yeah,
people are impatient, man. Leaders are impatient.
very.
We want the we want the home run, in the very first
Hmm.
inning, and we want to win the game in the first inning, and
Yeah,
we can't. So I
yeah,
wrote that down. The entire dream doesn't have to be completed in one day.
no.
That's man, that's so good. That's so good. John says
Yeah,
a great idea still many times you need to preserve.
to persevere. Yeah.
Persevere. Sorry
Hmm.
about that. It's hard work to bring through greatness. Yes. Yep. It
Yes.
can be paralyzing.
It can be
It can be.
paralyzing.
It can be.
Mhm.
It can be.
We're not gonna act like it's all peaches and cream and
Mm,
everything's perfect and rainbows and bunnies and no, those things have crappy parts too. And I love to tell my clients what we're gonna do right now is acknowledge that this sucks, this moment, that yep, what happened? Yep, don't
yeah.
like it. We're gonna feel it. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now what can we do?
Yeah.
What can we do?
That's true. That's true.
That so
Yeah.
long as we have breath in our bodies, there's still something that we can do. What is it?
Mm,
Choose one. Make a decision.
that's right. And Laura says yes, COVID was a big catalyst for
Huge
change.
catalyst.
I
Mhm.
know, and because I was thinking about this today too, and I was like, man, where did we, you and I meet? Like, um, I can't
Hmm.
remember. No, I think it was,
Virtually?
yeah, of course, virtually, of course, yeah, exactly, virtually. But I was like, I think it was LinkedIn
It has to be
initially, and
LinkedIn.
I
That's
think
right.
I can't remember, but then, I have a young lady, Valerie Poe. She's going to be on the community takeover. We're going to be talking about know your know your worth, that whole thing, and she's going to be talking about the person, like know your worth as a person. And
Mhm.
this young lady, she's 21, 22 years old, has the soul of a 45-year-old woman, seasoned, like
Absolutely.
understandable, and she's over in Singapore. And
Mhm.
I couldn't think of anybody better to have on to talk about know your worth. And the reason I say all of this is because I met her. If it wasn't for COVID
Mhm.
and the pause in everybody's life, her life included, even all the way over in Singapore, we would have never met. We would have never connected. And so, while the other side of COVID has been very,
Oh, very heartbreaking.
detrimental and
Yes.
devastating,
Yes.
there are other aspects of COVID that has brought growth. Um, people understanding more about themselves, people understanding more about each other as well too. So, having said that, COVID has caused us to pause as well too.
Pruning is painful though, isn't it?
It is. It is.
That's
All
yeah.
right.
Gardens are pruned and yet they're so beautiful.
Agreed. 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 All right. The O.
The
Lord of
O.
mercy.
All right, people. So the O in the done formula, we talked about defining, we talked about deciding. The O is for ownership. If there's one thing that helps us be accountable, that
Mm.
helps people know whom to go to about what, for what, and when is through ownership, assigning someone to it. You have an idea. If you don't take ownership of it, or if you don't empower someone else to give them the autonomy to follow through, again, nothing happens. How many times have you sat in the room with other people? I thought you were going to do it. Oh, I thought he was going to do it. Oh, I thought she was going to do it. I didn't even know it had anything to do with me, right? Nobody owned it. But when someone owns it, and again, this place of authority isn't about forcing power, it is about making room for people to have the autonomy to do what it is that they were meant to do. And so you can drive that value, you can usher people towards the opportunity that collectively we're trying to pursue. Our decisions are not isolated. So even if it's something about self, personal well being, maybe personal health or development or something like that, they're not isolated. The people who are attached to you will benefit from your success, from your progress, from your perspective, right?
Mm.
So ownership is important. The N, and I'm checking the chat. Do you
No,
see anything,
no, we're
Steve?
good. We're good.
All right. The N in the done formula, we talked about define, we talked about decide, we talked about own. The N is for nurture.
Mm.
Nurture, and this is not gender specific. This is not just for the ladies. Nurturing is not gender specific. Everything needs to be cultivated, watered, fed, heard, right? Explanations need to be had. Deeper information needs to be sought so that we can make an informed decision. So, nurturing is by inviting that help in, is by saying, such and such would be great at helping do this. You've been
Mm.
disgruntled for a really long time. And that might not be HR appropriate to say disgruntled to a person, but right?
I
You
know,
can
right?
say, I've noticed you've been really passionate about this thing. Well, now here's an opportunity. We want to hear what you have to say because maybe you just haven't been heard and you've been doing this for a long time and you found another way. Will you help us? Will you help us? Right?
Mm.
Nurturing that thing. Who do you need? What do you need to succeed? After you nurture it, because you've defined it, because you've made a decision,
Mhm.
because you have owned it, because you are nurturing it, right? You're setting the atmosphere for this thing. You're creating the safe, stable environment for this thing to thrive. Then you're going to put that E on it, and that E is to execute it.
Mm.
Oh, shocker!
Yeah, I know,
Not
right?
really, right? That E is to execute it. What does that mean? We're going to break that down, Steve.
Come on, break
The
it down.
E, we talked about what is a project. It has a defined start and it has a defined end. The subsequent result of the project can become an operation, but the project itself has to get to some key point, some major milestone, some strategic, specific initiative. A goal was set and we intend to get it, right? Timing, it depends on what that goal is, what it requires to accomplish it. But you have to execute it. And that starts with deciding when you will start and when you plan to finish. By when do you want to achieve the goal? And when we talk about executing the goal, please, 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 please do yourselves a huge favor and celebrate the small
Mm.
victories along the way. If you wait till the big finish, now let's say if you were working with someone, a team of people, and the end project won't be done for 5 years, you're going to wait until year 5 to celebrate?
Yeah, exactly.
What? That's mind blowing. You can celebrate week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter, right? Sometimes day to day.
Yeah.
as a celebration. The small wins lead to big victories. Do not forsake the opportunity to recognize what you have accomplished. It doesn't matter how little the effort may seem. It's important for you to recognize that you're doing the thing. And that's going to keep you motivated to do the thing.
Yeah.
And when you find out what motivates other people, you can speak to them about doing the thing, right? Acknowledgement, a little bit of acknowledgement goes a very long way. And when you acknowledge people for who they are and not just what they do, they will show up, not just for themselves, but they will be compelled to show up for you because they know you care and you help them feel like they matter. You help them see how important their component of the bigger picture is. That's the done formula, people.
So
and
much,
each
so
and
much
every one
to
of us can do
unpack.
it.
So much to unpack. And listening, John says, listening to this makes me think I don't let people help me enough. Interesting, John. Interesting. Interesting. I think that's a, John Maxwell, when I lived in Atlanta and I heard him speaking, and he often says there's no such thing, and he hates this phrase. There's no such thing as a self-made man, right,
Oh
or
my
woman,
God.
right? And he would often like talk about that, and he would just go down this rant around it, and in the context of like he can stand when like he would get around leaders and he would say, well, I'm a self-made man, and he said, well, I you know why I feel very sorry for you. I feel extremely sorry for you because you have missed out. And I'm just talking in the context of what John is talking about, help other people helping them, because you have missed out on the rich opportunity of that other people can feed into your life, to who you are as a person, not just to mention your business idea and your concept. And also the biggest thing John often said too, he would say that, if you're a leader and you're out there for a walk and no one's following you, you're not a leader. You're just out for a long walk.
For a long walk.
You're just out for a long walk if nobody's following you, right? And so I think that the same thing in the context of like, who are we bringing along for the ride with everything that we're doing within our business or our concept? And so to your point earlier around our business and our ideas are not for ourselves, they're for other people. And so if we don't do enough to bring other people along for the ride, then I think we're doing ourselves, and I think we're doing other people a major disservice. A major disservice.
And
Just
it
as that.
requires a bit of vulnerability,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We can't negate that. It does require a bit of
It does.
vulnerability, but that's how you connect with people. We're not talking about the misery loves company type of connection. We're
Yes.
saying that's how people know, like, oh, I can go to you, Steve, about this thing because you've been there. You understand my need. You understand my idea and how crazy I can get passionate about it, right? You see that this could be a thing.
Yeah.
Because you get me. When we can meet one another where we are because of our humanity, we can go so much farther together, so much further together.
I'm gonna talk about that word humanity for a second, and I'm gonna try to close this up here in a second.
Right.
John says I don't recognize any enough either. You don't recognize what, John? You don't recognize yourself, or you don't recognize your growth. Just clarifying that on that one for me. God I needed to be here. Oh, well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that, man. Because I think a lot of times, we say this all the time, is that sometimes you're when we're trying to do something, you're people are waiting. And I say this all the time, and I say this more so to encourage myself, because I've been slow to do certain things with this process. Like I want to do videos, and I'm still like behind with like trying to leap into that. And I found this saying is like, someone is waiting for me. They're waiting to hear what I have to say. and the more I don't say it, the more people are, kind of going by the wayside because Steve hasn't gone out there and actually put himself out there to say what it is that he needs to say. It could be a vulnerability issue, but it could be also the fact that, yeah, there may be some nerves there, but I have to realize that I'm letting other people down by not doing something that's within my wheelhouse to do. So I think we also have to think about it in that context. There are people waiting for us. There were people waiting for you when you found your first VA, right? And then you realized that there were other people. If you and I was one of them. I benefited from the fact that you were like, "Hey, this is something that I think I need to do." Listen to if you didn't do that, none of this. Honestly, a lot of this stuff, the marketing stuff, I wouldn't have done that because I didn't have Anna. So people, we are. Here's the other thing people got to realize, man. A lot of the stuff that's why I love having you on our show is that a lot of the stuff that we talk about, we are living it. We're not just
We're
talking
living
about it, we're doing it. And you have to be the same. You have to be on the same accord. You have to be on the same ilk to actually understand that. Stop talking about stuff and and then we're gonna get it done. Um,
and get it done.
Minutes too. He said,
Yeah.
oh, you don't enjoy the journey. I need to take it
Mhm.
all. Listen to me, man.
Oh,
That is, you gotta, yeah. It is hard to recognize progress sometimes because
mhm,
here's why. Because you just said it earlier. It's because we want to accomplish everything in one day, and so we feel
mhm.
the little steps that we have taken each day aren't enough because we're not where we want to be yet. How do we combat that? I know it's a big question, right? And I know I didn't prep you for that question either, man. But how do we combat that? I'm looking at John's question, right, or statement here. I'm successful looking outside of my own head.
Well,
Interesting,
mhm.
interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
And great
We
stuff
can
too.
come back. Comparison is the greatest thief.
Yeah.
And so long as we are comparing, whether we're comparing it to ourselves,
Come on.
whether we're comparing it to other people, whether we compare, listen, comparison is the greatest thief, and there will always be someone doing it bigger, better, brighter, wiser, faster, right? It's not about how are they getting it done. It is truly okay to be inspired. It is okay to be inspired. I told Steve when I got on, I was like, man, this is swanky. Like this setup, like when I grow up, this setup, right? But I'm not beating myself up because I don't have this setup. I'm still gonna go live on my StreamYard.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? I'm still gonna go live on my phone for a walk when I'm out with my daughter. I'm gonna do what I can. What did he say? What's within our wheelhouse. And
Mhm.
there are days where I don't always get it right. I had to send a message to my ladies this morning. Hey, this 1 o'clock time on Wednesdays, y'all, I'm just not hitting it. I'm not hitting it. What's another time of day that we can do this?
Right.
Right? Because we have plans, yet we don't always measure up to what we envisioned the plan would be or how we thought it would go. So the first thing we can do is stop comparing
Mm.
and focusing so much on what is not and really assessing on what is. And I have to do I'm quite transparent about that, and even in my motherhood experience, it was not ever my intent to be a single mom, not ever my intent, right? I checked the boxes,
Mhm.
right? I did the things that you're supposed to do and grow up to kind of situate you and guarantee you a happy, successful life and family and all that stuff. Well, yeah, doesn't always work out that way. And I have to say to myself, okay, I understand what's not, yet what is? Where is the gift in the life that we actually do get to live?
Mm.
And when you put things in perspective,
Yeah.
that will shut you up a lot of days on the stuff that really doesn't matter. That will absolutely help you see what you can be spending your energy
Mm.
doing when you want to be doing something.
Yes.
It will also help you sit down and take in the life that you get to lead so that you can actually treasure it. Because you also don't want to be so busy doing all the
Mm.
things, but your family actually doesn't get to be with you. They don't get to see you, right? Your team members don't get to know you. Everything about you is in passing
Mm.
because you don't know how to abide in anything. So
That's a whole nother. That word "abide" is another podcast.
to write that down, Steve.
Yeah, right.
John is funny. I
Here's the
like John.
here's the funny thing. Here is the crazy thing. I'm gonna have the video and all of this stuff, right? But I am still writing and writing down. Like, I got the video. I'm like, hold on for a second. This is mine. I got this. But it's important that for me, because if I don't get it right then and there, I'm not gonna remember. I have a good friend, and and won't talk his name or whatever, because I don't want to share his name with this, but
Right.
he's some people out here probably know what I'm talking about, but he's dealing with a disease that will eventually take his speech away. And I'm having conversations with him. I'm talking to him, and he's like, Steve, I still have so much more to say. And so he started doing a whole bunch of stuff, like in a positive way. And what I mean by that is a super positive way. And he's just, and that just resonates with me when he said that. He's like, eventually I won't be able to speak, but now I have so much more to say. And so I think a lot of times we get so bogged down into our own little first world problems, if you
First
will.
world problems.
And we start, hemming and hawing about we can't get this done, or we can't get any of this stuff done. And we got people literally out there that are losing their life and losing aspects of their being, and they wish that they weren't. And we have full faculty with of everything, and we still complain and we still whine. Oh my gosh, I got to get up, or my toe hurts, or whatever. Well, what if you didn't have a toe? Anyway, I'm not gonna go down that road.
Listen.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna go down there, man. I ain't gonna go down there. Yeah, John says, write that down, Steve. I wrote it all down. All right, so my two last canned questions, and we're gonna wrap this puppy up. We're gonna wrap it up and get to your daughter. So, and I think I told you the two canned questions that I always ask everybody. What's something that you have recently, and recently could be it's relative based on you, that you've thought about something this way, but you've recently kind of changed your mind about?
Ooh, thought about and changed my mind about. Oh man, let me think. I think I changed my mind about how this is Bailey, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm gonna give him a wave.
She's like, you're not done yet? She's like, you're not done yet?
That's probably what that is. I think I've changed my mind about what it means to be an entrepreneur, what it means to do business. Coming out full time, when I first launched Full Time Entrepreneur, I made, and I'm going to say this in the most honest way I know possible, I made the mistake of launching, worrying about a brand, right? Worrying about website and logo and blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. When you launch, unless you are running like immediately this big Fortune 500 super crazy large tech company or something, you are your brand.
That's right.
You are your brand. Don't try to separate who you are, the experiences that you have, from what it is that you do and how you can show up in whatever your world is and give value. Don't diminish you. So I've changed my mind about what it means to do business, to be in business, and to lead a life of entrepreneurship. And because of that, I hope now so many people recognize you don't even have to have a website.
Yeah.
Just have an online presence. Have an online presence, right? But you don't have to have a website in order for you to do business, in order for you to get out and serve. Just do it. Just get started, So
good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And this last one just comes from the idea that as leaders, we don't tend to pause. We just talked a little bit about COVID and how COVID like forced us to pause. But the
Mm-hmm.
tendency is that from leaders, we go from project to project, responsibility to responsibility, and all these other things, and we don't really take the time to sit down and analyze for ourselves, like what's important. And so I got this question from this book that I've read by Greg McEwen around essentialism, right? How do you just get rid of the clutter and just focus in and make the main thing the main thing? And one of the questions that he always asks is like, what's important now? So as a leader, what's important now for you, for TaJuanna?
What's important for TaJuanna right now is availability.
Mm,
Being
mm,
available for what it is that's calling me, who it is that needs me, and when it needs to happen. And that I'm going to, if I had to wrap it up in a word, Steve, it would
yeah.
be grace.
Mm,
Being available to give grace, not only to myself, because I am not moving as quickly as I would like to move. I am not as free as I would like to be, because of the restrictions and because of parenting, being a single parent by divorce. Like there's a lot that's just on me. And so giving myself grace that I have to function differently.
mm,
And because I know I need grace, I've got to be available to give grace
mm.
to everybody. So if someone cancels an appointment, I've got to be like, that's okay. Now I have time to sit,
Yeah,
call a
yeah.
friend, check a message, go eat something, right? Stand up, stretch. It's not a waste of time. I can choose to do something else that I enjoy doing now in that
Mm, mm,
right? If someone needs a little bit more time or a little bit to talk about or a little bit of money or a little bit of food or a little bit, whatever I can do, I just say, Lord, make me available
mm.
because somebody has lowered their eagle's wings for me more times than I can count, more times than I can count. And they weren't always family and they didn't always look like me.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
Mm.
important for me to have availability, to give grace so that we can enjoy the lives that we are living.
Grace. And, and John says, TaJuanna needs to be back. This was deep, and people need this.
Yeah,
Thank you, John. Thank you, and she will
thank
be back.
you.
There's too many topics and too many things that, um, we've touched upon, and I know when I
Mhm.
look back on this video, I'm gonna be taking down some more notes and some other things, and
Totally.
yeah, rabbit
You
holes
and
that
me
I,
both.
could have gone down
Camille,
as well, and then
Camille,
yeah,
we'll be getting grabbing some nuggets from this and
that's
coming up with some more content ourselves.
That's right. 100%, 100%. So Grace, I'm 270 pounds. What are you talking? Oh my gosh.
John is a,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's a good cat. He's a good dude.
he
So
is.
tell everybody where they can find you and how they can locate you, and if they wanted to work with you, where can they connect with you? And I'll have all the information, everybody, in the comments and stuff like that. But go ahead and tell everybody.
Yes, so you can find me at Bootstrap Dreams on pretty much all platforms of your choice.
That's
At
right.
Bootstrap Dreams. It is for people. I have a special heart for women, as I said before, people who are going into business and really are looking for ways to package their expertise to profit, right? And it's not just about money, it's about a life of abundance because you are finding purpose in serving others. And we don't always do it right because we don't have a sense of worth. We don't charge appropriately. And then entrepreneurship becomes a detriment instead of the liberation that we thought it would be. So, my mission is to help people just like you because I've been there and I've done it. I've made the mistakes so you don't have to. Is to take our expertise, captivate our audiences, package it to profit, and live the lives that we absolutely inspire and aspire to be living. At Bootstrap Dreams on all social media platforms is where you can find me.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And even in just that little nugget that you just gave, I was writing down stuff too. And it was about your business. It was about your stuff. I'm like, hold on a second.
Hey,
That's good for me
right?
too. That's good for me.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's important.
listen to me. You know, as I always know with you, know things are going to go well. But I have to say, tonight went exceptionally well. I
Thank
truly
you.
appreciate your friendship, your business
Yes.
partnership, your prayers for family and and business and everything. I really truly appreciate that. But more importantly, I know that tonight there are a lot of people who are either going to be listening to this live or listening to it on the replay, that they're going to get a lot out of this because they're stuck. They're stuck
Yeah.
in the paralysis of analysis. They're stuck with, I'm not good enough. They're stuck with,
Mm.
well, somebody's already started it. What about my concept? And what about me? I want to be heard. The thing
Mm.
is, and the goal, everybody, and hopefully you got it from the title, the art. It's all about the art of getting things done. So TaJuanna Taylor, I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Steve.
All right,
Thank you. Sentiment so shared.
hang out in the green room for a second as well too.
All
All right,
right.
all right. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening in tonight, and I truly appreciate all the
Just don't
engagement
wish
and
for it.
interactions
Work
and
for
stuff like that as well. Um, that we had tonight. Just thank you. Next week once again, we actually have I make sure I want to make sure I get that correct. Next week we have Cher Jones, and that is going to be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Super excited to talk to Cher Jones next week. And as we always say, as I always want to say, thank you for being here. Have a great night, and God bless.